Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from or attending from. I'm excited to be giving the keynote address in this Africa Legal Innovation Week 2020. And our theme the next few days, as you already know, is justice in the digital age. I'm excited to be here because COVID-19 has jolted us into realizing that we cannot continue ignoring technology and the role that it can play in the justice sector. Whether you're a judicial officer, an arbitrator, or a lawyer, or even a party, technology has a role to play in the current situation. And it's just not the current situation, it's just that COVID has come to jolt us into realizing that we cannot continue doing things the same way we've been doing them before. We were so used to doing paper-based business, whether in courts, in legal practice, where we everything that had to be done physically. You file your documents, you prepare your documents, you go to court, you file them physically. Now with technology, with COVID-19, when movement became an issue, people had to be quarantined or self-isolated. There was movement restriction all over, both within countries and outside countries. It became impossible to continue accessing courts, and yet the fact is that within that time, within this period that we've had COVID, access to justice was still an important issue. People needed to access justice. People needed to access court services or dispute settlement services of whatever nature. They needed to still access them. The question was how. And previously, we did. There was a lot of attempts to bring in technology into the legal sector, from the judicial sector to legal practice. There were a lot of attempts, but for some reason they were not bearing fruit because it was not deemed extremely necessary or important. But with COVID-19 pandemic onset, it became apparent that we could not continue doing things the same way we were doing them. And so as we now move into the era of embracing technology in the way we do our things, we are jolted into looking at what is working, what has been working. It's unfortunate that we had to do it as a reaction to a very dire situation. So we didn't have time to actually set up the systems properly. Fortunately for us at the COMESA Court, we had actually implemented an evidence management system in 2019, in January 2019. We had not foreseen, of course, that there would be something like COVID. So we were in a way not caught off guard as a court, because we already had a system for evidence management where parties were able to, lawyers were able to upload their systems electronically. Judges could access the files from wherever they are. And I think if you know about the COMESA Court, you'll know that our judges are from 12 different member states of COMESA. So for us, it was actually more imperative. And I shudder to imagine if COVID had come when we didn't have a system, because it would have been completely impossible. Would have ground to a halt if we didn't have a system that was working. So does that mean that we are where we would want to be? No, because we know that there are other areas where we need to improve. And I know that applies to everyone that has had to now look at ways of using technology to do their business. Now, one of the important things that I like to mention is that the technology that we are using in the judicial sector is not for the lawyers, is not for the arbitrators, is not for the court registry staff or whoever. It is for the parties. It is for the end user. The party that is coming to court for justice needs to be sure and confident that this system that is being used is going to enable them to achieve the justice that they seek. We should never ever forget that, because sometimes we overemphasize on the comfort or the usability in the perspective of a judge or perspective of a lawyer. But the party at the end of that line is the person that is interested in getting justice. So as we do, we improve on the systems that we have. We need to be very, very clear as to exactly what we need to achieve. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you fruitful deliberations for the next 4 days, and we shall be interacting more. Thank you.